Hello everyone, welcome to part 2. In this video series, I'm going to show you how I used engineering and physics to optimize the Railjet. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make two different optimized Railjets, the 04 and 05. The one you see here is the 05, and it is the fastest plane I've ever made. In the last part, I showed you how to optimize the Railjet using 6 different experiments. In this part, I'm going to show you how to build 2 optimized Railjets. The first is the one you see in the video here that can dive without hitting the control stick speed limit. This is the other plane that uses 5 rails. It goes just under the control stick speed limit at neutral, making it, technically, the fastest Railjet ever. Here I'm slowly descending to get a fast to neutral speed of 35 meters per second. First, you'll need 2 railings, a fan, and a dragon scale. Place both of the railings with the rim right over the middle of the fan, but one horizontally and one diagonally. We're going to take our dragon scale, come over to the side, attach it vertically to the diagonal one on the bottom, right here in the middle, and now we're going to attach 3 more parallel to this one, and as tight as we can so that it looks nice. So here's me attaching the second one. That's a little too big of a gap, but we can probably fit one in between. We'll attach the third one. The bottom of the dragon scale is pretty flat, so I think this is a good functional use of it, so that if you lose your plane, you can still find it from far away. Now I had a little bit of trouble getting this fourth one into that slot in the middle, but what ended up helping is putting it on a stake like this and putting it vertically. See how I have the fourth one in there now? And also see how the stacked railings and windshield railings are lined up. So the configuration should look like this. Now we're going to attach it horizontally, and we're going to put the V on. The V should be right up against the fan, right up against the windshield railing, and then glued to one of the stack railing that's facing up, just like this. Now we'll attach the other side of the V. Again, right up against the fan and the windshield railing. Great. Now we'll put it horizontal. Here's what it looks like. We got 4 diagonal railings in the front and 1 windshield railing. We're going to push that fan as far forward as we can, and then we're going to attach this windshield railing as close to the fan as we can, but to one of the V railings. That way it provides a flat surface on the front of the fan so it won't turn while we're flying. Now we will attach the control stick, push it in as far as you can against the fan so that it provides a good cage from behind. And then we'll attach that back fan. And we're going to put it up right behind the control stick so it's kind of a hover bike configuration. And we are almost done. We have one more step to go. At the water temple, build the plane and grab a water globule, then attach it to the body of the plane, and then attach it to the loose fan. The water globule will disappear, and then you can save that to favorites and auto-build it, and the water globule will disappear and not cost any zonite. But the loose fan will be loose, so you'll be ready to take off as soon as you build it. We see the plane costs 27 zonite if you take out the 2 fans and control stick capsules, and 27 zonite is an intermediate cost. The 04 will have 4 diagonal railings in the front and a windshield railing. The windshield railing keeps you from going over the limit in a dive, and we go 37 meters per second here. We go 12 meters per second on an ascent, where we go almost straight up, and then we'll try another dive here. If you watch the plane for a second, right there, see how the plane stuttered? I think it tipped far enough forward that the windshield railing slowed it down, and that was right when it reached 38 meters per second. So now I'm going to just hold the joystick forward and see if we can break the speed limit or not. We don't. Incredible. At neutral, it goes 29 meters per second and is pretty maneuverable. Here I just narrowly miss a building in Terrytown. The 04 is my favorite. You can dive really easily with it. It goes twice the hover bike speed at neutral. It's very maneuverable. Like, this is the one I recommend you should all save to your favorites. It's really great. The last plane's big brother, the 05, has 5 stacks in the front, and this one can go fast. It requires a bit of finesse to dive with because it can go over the speed limit, but I'll show you how. On an ascent, it goes 16 meters per second. Remember, the last one was 12. At neutral, with a slight descent, it goes just under the control stick speed limit at 35 meters per second. We can tip it down slightly further to get an even faster speed. And we get 39.7 meters per second, so we are just below the speed limit right now. But are comfortably flying and are moving very fast. If you tip it a little further down, you can get at just the right angle that you get into this oscillation state you see here, and that's at 40.8 meters per second. So that oscillation state is right at the speed limit. And if you tip it a little bit further, you get that oscillation, but it's going too fast, so you get kicked off. But you can dive for about 10 seconds before you get kicked off. And that's where the finesse comes in. So you'll see me dive for a couple seconds here, and I'm watching the Z coordinate on the minimap. And when it gets a little too fast, I even out and kind of just bounce between down and level. And that way you don't surpass the speed limit. The other option is to do it in about 5-second bursts. So here I'll dive for 5 seconds, and then I'll even out. And you see that even when you even out, your elevation still drops, but it does it slowly because you've evened out. Here I'll do it again for about 5 seconds, and then I'll even out. And look at that. Super easy. That's how you can descend safely with the fastest railjet ever made. Thanks for watching, everyone.